I'm a recruiter who reviews your resumes. The resume we have up first is truly awful. It takes them 3,000 applications, and they haven't even gotten a single interview out of 3,000 applications. So this backend software engineer is doing something incredibly wrong. And I want to let everybody know I do more than tech resumes, but tech right now is in the dumpster, so like 90% of the resumes that are sent to me are tech. So for anybody, right, your goal should be one interview per 50 applications. And when people follow my method, they get one interview per 7 applications. But 3,000 applications is horrible. So, and for the record, anything above 50 applications to one interview, not a good resume. So, what do we need in a software engineer backend Java? We need Java, Spring, Spring Boot, Maven, SDLC, SQL, RESTful API or REST APIs, microservices, CI/CD, objective-oriented programming, OOP, Git or Linux or Unix, Agile and Scrum, Cloud, any of them works, and I really just need the basics of the cloud. Everybody puts in all the extra, like, doodads with it. You really just need, like, GCP or Azure. Architecting or systems work, that is huge. Companies love that. Hibernate, Docker, Kubernetes, Kafka, and then Rare, full stack, JavaScript, React, Angular, Vue, DevOps, and RabbitMQ. So, recruiters and hiring managers only have 20 seconds to find what we need. So, can I find those in 20 seconds in qualification format, not keyword format? Probably not, because this person had submitted 3,000 applications and hasn't gotten a single interview, which is insane. Like at that point, I also wanted, like, is your phone number correct? Because even like by pure number, something is critically wrong. So let's start and go. Okay, can't use anything here. Can't use anything here. Where is your degree? Master's. Okay, good. Okay, led design and implementation of enterprise scale microservices using Spring, good. Spring Cloud and RESTful APIs, where, okay, I don't see any Java, and declined. All right, so yeah, that is why this person's formatting is awful. Their bullet points are actually not terrible, but their formatting is horrendous. So I've been applying for jobs for a really long time. Currently, I'm in a contract role and looking for something full-time. I have applied to 3,000 plus positions within 4 months and not gotten any interviews. So your big issue here is you are confused about what recruiters are actually looking for. So people assume that recruiters are keyword hunting, right? What is a keyword? Keyword is this. It is a skill the hiring team needs. The problem is recruiters are not keyword hunting. We are qualification hunting. And what a qualification is a keyword plus how you used it, plus the reason or result of you using it, plus where you used it. And the problem is, if it's not those 4 things, not counting years of experience, it does not count. This is why I highlighted all of this, is because guess what? None of this counts because it does not show me where you did it. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter if you put it up here. It matters I can see where you did it. And the skill sections also don't matter because A, we need to know where, but we also need to know how you used it and the reason and result of you using it. In fact, this resume would be infinitively better if this entire section was just completely deleted and the resume started here. Now, you do want your education up front. That is something you definitely want. That is a requirement in a majority of jobs. So you should have your education, which is all the way at the bottom up here. The second is I need to know where you're located. Companies rarely do relo, and if you are out of state from where that company is hiring, unless obviously it's a remote role, that is almost an instant rejection. So what your resume should look like is this, right? And then this is where you put your location, and if you're a green card or U.S. citizen, this is how you do it. The link is in my description below. It's on my website. It's free. You need to use it. This is peak resume. I don't care if this is for a cashier. Software engineers use the same resume. The only people that don't want this resume are job hoppers and people with high level management experience. We're talking like directors and above. They want a different format, but everybody else could use this. So the big problem is immediately you wasted all the time here. You had a giant red flag over here by not telling me where you are located. So that's 2 big things that are already against it. And then we go down to here, and these bullet points are not the worst. Actually, this is the sad part. These bullet points are not actually the worst. The problem is I don't think I see a single thing that says Java. Yeah, there's no Java until all the way down to here, and no one's scrolling all the way down to there. And now a lot of people right now are probably raging at me. They're like, well, hold on, Lee. Spring Boot implies... No, nothing implies. One of the biggest rules of resume creation is if it is implied on your resume, it does not exist. You have to directly state it. That is a very, 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 very big rule of resume creation. So it doesn't matter that this implies they've used Java. It doesn't matter that the context clues imply. It matters that you have it, and if you don't have it, it doesn't exist. So then we go down to these bullet points, and like I said, this is mostly how I would want you to write them, except I need actually Java, is led the design and implementation of Java enterprise scale microservices using Spring Boot, Spring Cloud, and REST APIs. Although, again, you didn't really tell me what cloud. Spring Cloud is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for AWS, Azure, or GCP. And RESTful APIs, improving system scalability. That's good, and reducing downtime. I don't care about your numbers. The only people that need numbers are sales or high-level managers, all right? And if you're noticed, high-level managers do need a different resume. So then we go down here, design and automate CI/CD pipelines with Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, good. Enabling continuous faster development. That's actually fantastic. Like, this is a sad part. You completely ruined your resume by having this stuff and not mentioning Java. You are so close. Implemented secure authorization using Spring off to... there's nothing here that I need, so this is a wasted sentence. Collaborated with cross-functional teams. Cross-functional is nice, but it's not really a keyword. And again, you already mentioned this stuff before too. You don't want to mention it in the same job twice, right? You want to mention AWS here. Let me show you what I mean by this. Mentioning AWS here, great. Mentioning AWS here, let's say hypothetically, bad. Mentioning AWS, just assume this said AWS. Here, good. All right, so you want to mention it once per job, but don't double up on it per job. So the big problem with this resume is you have two very solid sentences that don't tell me anything about what actual stack you use. And that's kind of it. And that's my big issue is there's only two good sentences. And those sentences are pretty good. Like, you actually just need to add Java, and that's a fine sentence. But this is a real problem, is like, you know, where is the other stuff here that I actually need? Where is the SDLC? Where is, let's see, object-oriented programming? Where is Git? Where is Linux? Where is Agile? Where is Hibernate or Docker? And I don't see it. Also, your dates of employment are a little job hoppy. And you have a error down here, which is July 201G. I don't know what G was supposed to be, but that can definitely matter. So this is a typo. But honestly, I would not even... Oh, this is an intern. Okay, I missed it. Intern. I don't know what this is. So yeah, your problem here is you just don't mention Java, right? You said you're a backend Java engineer, and then you put all of this other junk up here, which is nothing I can use, because remember, I cannot use it unless it's under a job or an internship or a project. And then you only have two good sentences that don't mention Java. So I need you to fill in the stuff that you missed from here, and I need you to tell me Java. I don't care how basic it is. If it's basic, it needs to be in your resume twice. That is rule number 2 of resume creation. If it's basic, it needs to be in your resume twice. And you're like, well, Lee, what about no? You know what I tell accountants? Accountants need Excel. You know what I tell cashiers? Cashiers need to say that you can use a computer. That's it. You need to show you can do basic math. You know what I tell recruiters? You need to put ATSs. Not ATSs, it stands for applicant tracking system. You need to put in ATS and tell me what type it is. Doesn't matter that every single recruiter has used an ATS. No, you still need to put it in. So you need to put in the basics. The basics are what gets people jobs. But this is all I can do for the rest of this resume, mainly just because there's like not a lot here. So I need you to have actually good sentences, fix your formatting, add Java, and tell me where you're located. But before we go to the next resume, I just want to thank you all for liking, commenting, and hitting that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. And also, if you ever need more help, you can join me when I live stream. That is where I record this stuff. I do it every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on YouTube and Twitch. And if you want to join Twitch, it's twitch.tv/headlestheadhunter. So thank you all for watching, and to my members who get access to videos just a little bit earlier than anybody else, I just want to say thank you very much for supporting me. I am a small channel, and I greatly appreciate it. And if anybody else wants to join and be a member, the link is below, and let's get y'all jobs. That's my goal. Next resume. This is a resume of a data analyst. So what we need for a data analyst is degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, influencing stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders. That is huge. And as an example, like people ask, like, what is that? It's Elon Musk turning Twitter into X was a terrible idea. If there was a extremely good data scientist, they would be able to convince him not to do that. Probably not, because that man doesn't listen to anybody, which is why he's bad. But that would be the job of a data analyst, is to say, hey, Elon, based on our data, changing Twitter to X would lead to a very bad idea. So we also need to know how you solved a problem with the data. I do not care how you got the data. I only care what you do with the data. That is a big thing that a lot of entry-level people mess up on. Then MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, ETL, Python, R, multiple projects, and deadlines. So this person has a unknown ratio, so we don't know how good or bad it is, but let's see. 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see how good or bad. And go. Okay, we need to remake this a little bit. University... This should be one line, but otherwise it's fine. And then transformed large data sets, Tableau, processing. Okay, this is too complicated, but it's the right idea. Collaborated, don't say collaborated, using Git and CI/CD, and used MS Office to handle project deadlines. Okay, so couple of things here. You have the right idea. The right idea is here. I need a little bit more and a little bit less. So, the first things first is you need to explain this more, right? Like, so there is a reason when the only reason you would want a summary is if you, one of the three reasons is if you're relocating, if you need a visa, or you're changing industry. So when you say 36 months on student OPT visa, nobody knows what that means. What I need you to say is, as I am on an OPT, I do not need sponsorship for 3 years, nor will, and I am not seeking it, okay? That would be different. That does mean that a lot of companies will reject you off the cuff because you are only going to be there for 3 years, but that is how you would write this. But 36 months of student OPT visa, nobody knows what that means. Second, this should be one line. This is a project. This shouldn't be in the education. Also, it's a hackathon for a data analyst. I don't even think that's as relevant. So then we go down to here, and it's not terrible. I just want this to be a little cleaner, right? Transformed large data sets into interactive Tableau dashboards and data stories, processing complex KPIs and trends into clear visual narratives that guided leaderships on cost-cutting program and software investments. So I want you to be a little more clear about what you do here. So instead of transformed large data sets into blah, blah, just say built. Built Tableau dashboards, and we don't need data stories, right? And nor do we need processing complex KPIs. Built dashboards on trends that guided our leadership on cost cutting. But also, like, what did you do? Like, what? I still don't know. I need more. This is almost what I want, and it's kind of weird because you don't really tell me the what, but you tell me the how, and you almost tell me the reason or result. Collaborate, just say used. You don't want to say collaborated. Used Git, GitHub, which I don't care about. That's actually not a keyword I'm looking for a data analyst. For CI/CD, that could be industry. So I can keep that because, again, CI/CD might count as industry. And used MS Office, Advanced Excel. See, I don't care about MS Office. I care about Excel and Word, all right? Like, you got to be very specific about what you're looking for. And I want to know more about the Advanced Excel to handle multiple projects. But then, like, what do you mean? How did you, like, you don't tell me the how here. Like, how did you use Excel to handle multiple project deadlines? I don't know. I need a little bit more. Transform technical data into insights for stakeholders. Okay, good. That one actually shows me that's a good one. To make curriculum improvements and targeted interventions by developing predictive and statistical models. This should be your first bullet point, right? And then again, you want to make it a little clearer than this, but this is how you write it. So created, let's say, transformed technical data into insights for stakeholders. Good. To make curriculum improvements. I don't really care about this part. By developing predictive and statistical models in Python. Good. But then I don't really care about skibbity learn, right? So that's like a nice to have. And to forecast student success and identify key behaviors. What do you mean student success and behaviors? I need more. So that's a bit of my problem with this whole thing, is just that you're really not telling me the reason and result that much. You're kind of implying it. You're kind of alluding to what you do. And I don't want your resume to be LaCroix, right? Like, you need to directly state it. The flavor can't be in the other room. The flavor has to punch in the face. So you're closing in on the right idea, but there's a lot of extra stuff here that just does not matter. And you're not being as clear as you can specifically for a data analyst. Also, again, you really need to describe this. These people probably don't know what this is. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a software engineer intern. We don't know their ratio, but what we need for an intern is really, really simple. Almost every intern overcomplicates it. In fact, most people overcomplicate everything involving the resume. But what you need is degree, basic knowledge of tech stack. So, I mean, basic knowledge, just like Java, Spring, SQL, any cloud, a library, that RESTful APIs, like that is what I'm looking for. And then the ability to work well together with others and the ability to take direction and criticism. That is it. So we don't know if, I forgot to do this. There we go. That's why that looked, sorry about that. That's why that looked weird. So I don't know their ratio. So let's see if this is a good or bad resume. 20 seconds on the clock. And go. This is not related. What? All right. Partaking in weak, agile. Okay, good. To resolve bugs, UI accessibility, pairing. What is this? Coded in. No. Okay, I need more. All right. Yeah, this is confusing. The bullet points are not the worst, but I was so confused by the first part. I didn't fully understand that. The bullet points are not bad, but they're not great. So let me read what they wrote, which is a lot. I've been applying with a different resume for 60-plus intern roles in the corporate sector, but amending it for every role. Never do that. You do not want to change your resume for every role. That is actually how you get less interviews, not more, based on how ATSs work. ATSs get a lot of bad rap. I made a video about them, but they sort people on a first-come, first-served basis. That's it. So if you are constantly tweaking your resume to an individual role, you will get behind in the ATS, and you probably won't even get seen. There's a little more to it than that, but that's the quick view. Out of the places I've applied, I've had a few online interviews, online assessments from these companies. So far, 3 proper interviews. Despite this, I feel like I could get more interviews with a better resume. An example of what my old resume looks like can be found here. I am not clicking that. So hence why I'm making the new one that follows your structure, but includes sections that you may not agree with. I try my best to watch as many videos yours as possible and get a gist of what to put in the way that you stated. However, I do see that the bullet points are lengthy, so help with that. Also, I'm unsure about a few bullet points, such as the first 2. So my big thing is, this has nothing. I don't know why you put this. This is not related. This would be a project. Hackathons are projects. Is it good that you want a hackathon? Yes, but that's a project, okay? The rest of this doesn't matter. Second, what is a certificate of completion for this? Is this an out of the United States thing? Because I have never heard of this. Maybe this is useful outside in the UK. That could be the case, but I've reviewed a lot of other engineering interns, even in the UK, and I don't see this. So maybe this is just a US specific thing that you don't want to have. Again, I am a US based recruiter. That is where the majority of my knowledge comes from. And I have gotten people jobs outside the US, but sometimes things are just a little bit different and I can't fully get it. So these should be deleted because I don't really see how they're related. And then I don't need to see when you started unless this is a UK specific thing. I just need to see when your anticipated graduation. So already this saves it. And then here is actually okay. These are not terrible bullet points, right? Partaking in 2 to 3 weekly agile meetings to identify and resolve bugs, security issues while developing features for financial. So what I would like you to do though is these should be combined. You need to combine these, right? So I would say created a financial education platform using TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, and React, while partaking in weekly team agile sprints to identify and resolve bugs and security issues, right? So those should be combined because individually they're mid, but together they're more than the sum of their parts. Learned, never say learned. Say what you did, not what you learned. So built blank and helmet to X. Don't say understand. Also, I don't know. These are a little bit... some of these might be useful. But again, this sentence is not good because you say how you understood it. I don't care how you understood it. I care what you did. Learning from negative feedback. Nope, 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 nope. Just say took direction and criticism from code reviews by referring to an updated code document I wrote to... I need more. I need a little bit more here. I don't think this is a terrible resume, by the way. Like, I think people may think, like, oh, he thinks this is garbage. No. I mean, there's definitely flaws in here, but I don't think this is a terrible resume. There is a reason you have been getting a lot of other interviews, and these are some mid-sentences down here, and the first two need to combine, but the core of it is good. And this is what happens when you actually just have an okay resume. Communicated effectively, don't say that. Just say presented demos and prototypes to the founder and product to not maximize the time you spent on problems. I want you to say presented demos and prototypes to the founder and product manager bi-weekly to ensure that we are following directions appropriately or following criticisms appropriately. But to maximize the time I spend on problem solving is not a good one. And then develop the engine trading platform composing 7. I don't care about the number. There should be commas here, but otherwise this is fine. Otherwise that's good. Integrated React, goodish. This is too technical, resulting in... Nope, too technical. Use Java, Spring Boot. You already set that up above. And I don't care that you solidified your understanding. I care what you did, so that doesn't count. Updated technical documents and diagrams. Daily, good. Updation of state of the entire program. Notify my next steps. Why did... I need a little bit more. Again, the reason and result needs to be the why. It's not the resulting in fewer critical bugs. They're not going to understand what resulting in critical bugs is. You need to be very upfront with why you did that. That's understandable to a layman, but... This resume kind of does pass, I'll be honest. The formatting's bad and some of the bullet points are bad, but this does pass. And the fact that you're getting interviews is showing it. So just make those changes and you should be getting more interviews. But overall, this is not a bad resume. It's just like a mid resume. Next resume. This is a product manager role. So what we need for a product manager is degree, industry, so like B2B, SAS, Influencing people at all levels of the company, that is huge. Analyzing user data and extracting business requirements from stakeholders and transforming them into product requirements, also big. Change the company through data-driven decisions, agile, scrum, cross-functional, 0 to 1, and how you solved and moved teams faster and proactively solved problems, and how you succeeded and the result of that success that is not a brag, and some common tools. So that is a lot, but that is what we need. So we don't know this person's ratio. It is unknown. They said they're an international student with about 1.5 years of product experience. Since coming to the U.S., they've mostly built products to stay with the current market in their skill set. So let's see what we've got. 20 seconds on the clock, which let me actually add the 20 seconds and go. Okay, degree, good. Analyze user data and extract a business requirements across stakeholders to build product requirements roadmaps. What is your product? Led 0 to 1 development for Skype. Okay, marketing to assisted customers to drive. I don't care about that. Interviewed users to identify teacher pain points and ship AI-based summaries. Would this pass? Would this pass? Maybe. I think we still need a bit more context. So first off, again, authorized to work in the U.S. on OPT for 3 years without sponsorship means nothing. You have to tell them that can work for any company with no sponsorship for 3 years. That is what you need to say, as I am on OPT. But this does mean they are not going to try to move you forward for the H-1B. That is what you need to say. Second, there is too big of a line in between here. It should immediately jump like this. This is how it looks. This is what it should be, right? And then we go down to here. Also, I need your date, like where you're located. Remember, they don't like people moving. And then we go down to here. And I don't think this is bad. But again, I think you could combine these two, right? Led the 0 to 1 development for a note-taking app for classrooms where I extracted business requirements from stakeholders cross-functionally to build products and roadmaps across 4 other products. So that would be okay. But remember, the only thing I really see there is cross-functional and 0 to 1 and business requirements, which is okay, but maybe we could put in a little bit more there. Then interviewed user to identify pain point and ship. I don't think this is something they're going to want. It's very rare they actually say like just interviewing users. That is part of it. Like analyzing data, yes. Use SQL to identify drop-offs and redesign flow. That is too broad. I don't know what that means or why that's relevant. A/B tested, this means nothing. Performed market research and competitive analysis of 15 competitors to identify a content personality gap in the education. Too technical. Worked with cross-functional, you already mentioned that earlier, to design and launch personalized learning system. Again, that's not what I'm looking for. Use Jira, okay, to manage backlogs and lead agile sprints across 4 products, shipping 30 plus features. Again, this is not really what I'm looking for. So if you notice, I did find analyzing user data, right? Like we could extracting business requirements from stakeholders counts, right? I'd say that counts. That one, that is a good one. But I don't really see how you influence people. I don't really see how you changed a company through whatever you were doing. I did see Agile and Scrum, right? Yeah, I saw Agile or Scrum sprints there somewhere. So that was, I saw cross-functional. I saw 0 to 1. So that's good. But I don't really see how you move teams faster. I don't really see how you succeeded. I don't really see how you changed the company. And I would like 1 or 2 other tools that are common. So the idea behind this is good, but I just need more, right? Like I need more because you're really focusing on like SQL drop-offs and competitive analysis and driving customers and agile whatevers. But I really need to see that you're the person in the company that has to lead this stuff. And I don't really see that you actually led it. Like you say you did it, but I need to see it through the bullet points as well. So I just need more in-depth bullet points that have more of what I need and less of what I don't need. So next, resume. This is a backend software engineer Python, I think. They actually just said backend software engineer, but I saw Python. So when you're getting an engineering position, you need to specify your stack. If you do not specify your stack, you are going to be in for a bad time. So I believe this is a backend Python, and what we need for a backend Python is Python, SQL, Docker, Cloud, RESTful APIs, REST APIs, Git, CI/CD, ML, agentic in its words, or full stack. You really want Python and full stack or Python and AI. Not sometimes both. But nice to have Fast API, Flask, and Django, and rare is ETL, Java, Auth, MongoDB, and microservices architecture. So this person has a 50-to-1, which I don't know if that's accurate or not, but we'll see, which is an okay ratio. Could be a little bit better, but could be a lot worse. So let's see how good it is. 20 seconds on the clock. And go. Okay, degree, good. Use Python and Django to build RESTful APIs, good. Improving SSJ standard shop, little technical, but whatever. Use Docker, Kubernetes, CI/CD, automated points for warehouse stock, tracking, okay. Deliver data, quality reports, issues. It's not bad. Develop C, monitor data sets, ingested, too technical. Leveraged artificial in SQL. Power BI, reducing load times to, okay. I would. Oh, here's AWS. I caught it off the top of my eye. This could pass. I actually think this is a 1 in 50. This is. There's definitely flaws, but it's good enough to get an interview. Just again, you could do better, right? More interviews is more better. I'm looking to improve the wording of my bullet points to show impact while making sure that important keywords are easy to spot. I use the word "use" too much, and I think that's not good. It's okay. Used is used. You could say created, built, developed. Those are all fine. So my big issue with this is some of these are a little too technical, right? Like this is fine. This part is great, right? Perfect. Use Django, Python, blah blah blah. Great, perfect. But then this is a little too technical, where it's like improving access to real inventory data is not as needed. So I just say and accelerating the stock replenishment. Like it's not terrible, but like I need a little more context. And I also think you can maybe fit 1 or 2 other keywords in if needed, but I just want a little bit more context. Then use Docker, Kubernetes, CI/CD to automate deployment for REST API is good. Scalability, that's actually really good. Deliver data reports to senior. This one is where you kind of lose me. This is a nice to have. This is not really something I would be looking for. Because like I don't see Git, right? I don't see Cloud. I don't see... Did I see SQL? I don't see SQL, and you already mentioned RESTful API here. I don't see any AI or full stack, which is going to hurt. So it's okay, but I just need a little bit more of what I'm actually looking for. And then down here, and then most of this is not needed. And then here, I don't like the word leverage. Just say built artificial intelligence in SQL is okay, right? I want AI in SQL, but then I need more than this. And then I need more than this. And then down here is solid, which is use Python AWS to implement. I don't really care about ETL. Processes providing real-time customer using from Reddit. This is fantastic. Like this is a great bullet point. I think this is your best one. So I want you to write them more like this, right? This is a bit better. Like, again, my big issue is just it's spread out, and most of the stuff that is in this internship isn't largely related. Like, I do like the second part of the bullet point of the second one, but the first one isn't really needed. So is this a terrible, no good resume? No, I think this will be enough to get a 1 in 50 like you have. I think that's accurate. I want you to be a little more focused on what I need, because this is closer to what I need, and you've barely got 75%. The problem is it's spread over basically 3 entire jobs, and they may not even go all the way down there. They may stop reading here once they realize that most of this is not relevant. So maybe delete that internship so we could just start with this one. And then we really want to add another good bullet point here because we just don't have enough on this one. That is, otherwise, And again, I need your location, but otherwise this would pass. So does pass, but that's the way to make it better. So thank you all for joining me very much. This is the end of the video. I appreciate you liking, commenting, watching, and subscribing. Helps me out, and if you ever need more help, you can go to my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on YouTube or twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And to my members who get access to videos just a little bit early than other people, thank you very much for supporting me. Thank you very, very much. I'm a small creator, and your support means an awful lot to me. And if anybody else wants to support me or wants to get access to videos a little bit earlier and join the members, they can join in the link below. But that is it for me, so I will see you all in the next video to help you get ahead of your job search. Later, y'all.